DB, I want to follow up on what you're talking about with Dylan yesterday, or Dylan yesterday, and then just a little bit ago too. Thought came across yesterday, and I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I texted this a little bit ago. TK caught me. I was sleeping in another bed yesterday, so I'm sure you saw that. But he
was wearing the right gear though.
I was. Hey, listen, I was all branded up.
He
when
was
I went
repping
out
the
there.
brand while it happened.
Hey, I'm telling you, as long as they have to say, or anybody that utilizes your skills and say with Hurrdat, this, that, or the other, do your thing.
Fair. But so it was brought up yesterday, and then I've been kind of sitting and lingering on it. Taking Dylan and sending him for Big Ten Media Days, it feels like it's just one of those things you do, right? It's your starting quarterback. We see it for the SEC, top contenders. They're sending Arch and sending other guys. Nebraska should send him. I'm not saying that they're not. But in the chance that, and I think I might have asked you this a little bit about it yesterday, opening Dylan up to a different type of media group. It's not his hometown guys. They're going to be the more national guys. There's going to be the Ohio State people there. You might open up some old wounds. I don't want to say that there's like a level of concern with that, but is this a chance for Dylan to face maybe a different form of adversity and let him kind of face a different type of music than what he has to face when he's in front of the Mitch Shermans and the Sam McEwens every, week in and week out?
Yeah, well, I think that's part of it, right? I remember last year he clearly wasn't feeling well. I can't remember what game it was. He was kind of hobbling around, and Coach Rule talked about letting him play through that and not take him out of the game. And, the fan base a little bit was like, oh, he could get hurt or get him out of there. And, I was sitting next to Ravi and I said, some of that you got to go through. Some of that you have to feel it. So, that you don't want to feel like that again, much like with media days this year. So you take what he's already good at. He's a very good natural leader. He's got a lot of charisma. He's very well spoken, and he's comfortable in front of crowds. Now you pit that against 520 snaps, the highs and lows of a freshman campaign, the level of excitement people have with him, getting a full year under his belt with Coach Holgerson. Now that you've given him some body, you added some substance to the meal with what he's gone through, you get more of the goodness of what he brings to the table, right? Because he's got some of that gunk that he went through, you get to see more of the goodness in Vegas. And I think he now gets to add, he's not just the freshman phenom and the poster boy. He's the guy that's gone through the grinder, that got him over the hump in the bowl game, that played better the last third than he did in the middle third last year after the early success, the managing of the injuries, the off-season scrutiny. He's just like, I love a good cut of meat. I love a good ribeye, right? You give me an aged ribeye, it's just a little bit better. I'll take the other ribeye. That's pretty legit. Mm-hmm. Give me the aged ribeye, a little seasoned, a little savvy to him. It's going to be that much better. He's the guy that I think is built to be in Vegas, especially after what he went through last year and the tremendous offseason he's had this year.
So let me ask you this, DB. You're talking about adversity and kind of doing Raiola and him figuring that out. Which do you think is more important when people are going through things? Because I think there's two different ways to look at it, and maybe they kind of go hand in hand. Is it more important for guys to say, I never want to feel this way again, or for guys to realize, oh, this didn't kill me?
I'm definitely going to take the first, right? Just even on a personal level, what would motivate me after making a mistake? I would say, you know what? I don't like the way this feels. I don't like the way it made me feel. I don't like the way it made other people feel around me. Mm-hmm. I'm not making this mistake again. More than I would say, well, it didn't kill me. Because in that position, if I was in an individual sport or doing something where I didn't affect other people, I don't have any problems with thinking, well, it didn't kill me. Because while it didn't kill you, it may have laid collateral waste to a lot around you. Mm-hmm. So just to play it safe, I'm always going to probably pick, I don't ever want to feel like this again versus at least it didn't kill me. Now, the at least it didn't kill me part is part of it, right? That's when you hear coaches say, well, you got to coach past the suck, or, and embrace the dog days, or then you can look back and say, oh, it didn't kill me.
Mhm.
Now, because that doesn't necessarily mean that you were good during that time. It just means that you managed it. So you
right.
got to give me you got to give me some achievements that come with it just didn't kill me. Because there's this tendency sometimes to be like, I just got by, right? Didn't kill me. There's not necessarily the motivation to not go there again.
So I think part of it for me is I think sometimes, especially what we've seen, some of the things that ailed Nebraska and it kind of snowballs on them is like there seems to be almost people sometimes feel a little fragile, right? Where it's like, if this gets me, then this is going to happen, and this, and this. But I'm glad you brought up the individual sport thing, because I did want to kind of talk about the things that Scotty Scheffler said, because I do think like individual versus team sport is really interesting. Because I think if you're playing golf or you're playing tennis or you're boxing or something like that, like the first time a boxer gets knocked down and then he gets up and is able to win the fight still, like that's an important it didn't kill me moment, I think, right? But it can also be I never want to feel like that again, right? Like, I don't want to get that feeling of being knocked down again. But I do think there's sometimes, like when Roy Jones lost his like air of invincibility, it was over.
And it's not just because he's all over my algorithm, with his discussions on Floyd Mayweather. But he's a perfect example.
Like it did kill him.
It absolutely did, because it didn't matter enough to him to say, I don't want to feel like that again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Tarver in the very next fight said, what's your excuse tonight, Roy? I mean, and he slept him again. So, he is kind of the poster child. But I think the thing to distinguish that's important with Scheffler is he's clearly a super bright guy, right?
Yeah.
So when you get these higher level thinkers, and it could be an individual sport or a team sport, the natural tendency for smart people is to already figure out the why, right? Or not the why, the how.
Because the what's not enough.
It's just not.
It never is.
For smart people, the next question to ask is why, because they already assume they know the other two.
Yeah.
I know the how and I know the what. It's
why.
You saw this with Coach Frost as an offensive coordinator going to a head coach. It worked doing this. Now, how is it not working now? It's always work. You just sequentially you do that, and then people do it, right? It's like, because we forget that people are the biggest variables, and those things are ever changing. So as a coach or being in a position of leadership, you can have your core strengths, but when you can't cross over into the what could I do differently, or why am I not getting the results that I've always gotten, man, that's when self-awareness starts to creep in. So you have to have the hows, the whats, and the whys kind of separated, but constantly be taking inventory. You can't take any of them for granted.